Hello students, and welcome back to another algebra video. You know what to do. Pause the video, try this problem in your notes, and then unpause it to do it with me. Okay, solve the system of linear equations by substitution and check your solution. So, substitution means that I'm going to replace one of the variables with the other side of its equation. So if I have y equals something, I can plug that something in for y. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take 3x plus 2y equals 0. And you'll notice I left a lot of space because I'm going to replace the y with 1/2 x minus 1. Minus 1, because y is equal to 1/2 x minus 1. All right, let's solve for x now. 2 times 1/2, see, half of 2 is 1, and 2 times -1 is -2. So this gives us 4x minus 2 equals 0. Add 2, so we combined like terms in that step. Now I'm going to add 2 to both sides. 4x equals 2. Divide by 4 on both sides. And x is equal to 2/4, which, if we reduce this fraction and divide by 2 on the top and bottom, we get 1/2. So great, x is 1/2, that's wonderful. Now what we want to do is we want to take what we got for x and plug it back in. So y equals 1/2 x minus 1. Instead of writing x, we're going to do y equals 1/2 times 1/2, because x is equal to 1/2. Minus 1. And let's see, what is 1/2 times 1/2? Let's see, 1 times 1 is 1 over 2 times 2 is 4. So we get 1/4 minus 1. And let's see, we can think of 1 as 4/4, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 1/4 minus 4/3 is, let's see, the denominator stays the same. And on the top I do 1 minus 4, which is -3. And there we go. Y is -3/4. X is 1/2. So our final answer is 1/2 -3/4. And that is our final answer. Okay, all right, let's move on to what we have for today. So today we are continuing our work with section 5.2, solving systems of linear equations by substitution. So we're going to continue working with substitution today, and we're actually going to finish our work with substitution. So our learning target is that you remember what substitution is, how do I use it, what is it for, and our success criteria is that you can solve any system of equations by substitution. So, let me remind you what a system of linear equations is. It's a set of 2 or more, but remember, we're not going to do that in this class. It's a set of 2 linear equations in the same variables, so they both have x and y. And yeah, we have 1 equation, 2 equations. Now, how did we solve these? By substitution. Well, remember we had step 1, which was solve one of the equations for one of the variables. Now, yesterday and in our entry task, we already had one of the equations. We had y equals something, or we had x equals something. So it was really easy to take that and just plug it in for y. Now, what happens when I have something, whoops, -8? What happens when I have something like this? There is no y equals or x equals. So how am I supposed to substitute? Well, step 1 says to solve one of the equations for one of the variables. So we pick, oh, I could solve this equation for x, since it doesn't have a coefficient, or something along those lines. So in this video, we're going to focus mostly on step 1. We did steps 2 and 3 in the last video and in our entry task, and we're going to still do steps 2 and 3 because they are crucial for substitution, but we're also going to add in step 1 today. So, of course, step 2 was to take the expression from step 1. So take your x equals or your y equals and plug it in to the other equation. So if we picked this equation, now we're plugging it into the other equation. And step 3 was to substitute the value from step 2. So we get x equals a number or y equals a number, and we can use that number to find the other variable. So if I have y equals something, I can then plug that in to one of the original equations to figure out what x is. Alrighty, so those are our steps for solving linear equations, a system of linear equations by substitution. So let's jump into it and let's see how step 1 is supposed to work. So, first things first, I'm going to look at my system of equations, and I know that step 1 is to get x equals or y equals. That's my first step, is I need one of these equations to be y equals or x equals. So, let's see, which one do you think is going to be the easiest to solve? Equation number 1 or equation number 2? Pause the video and think about that. Which equation would you solve, and would you solve for x or would you solve for y? Pause the video and think about that. Now, what I'm noticing is that both of these equations have a y, a positive y all by itself. It doesn't have a 2y, there's no number in front of it. So this could be easy to solve for y for either of these equations. I'm gonna pick equation number 1, (x plus y equals 3, because, watch this, all I have to do is add x to both sides, and then boom, y equals 3 plus x. Done. Step 1 is done. So, I chose equation number 1. If you chose equation number 2, you'll get y equals -1 minus 3x. That's fine too. That works. We have y equals, but I don't know, negatives can sometimes be harder for me. So I thought that equation number 1 would be a little bit easier. But you're going to get the same answer no matter which one you use. So multiple ways to do the problem. Okay, so this is our step 1. This is our equation from step 1. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this y equals 3 plus x, and remember that this is equation number 1. This is equation number 1 that we decided to solve for. So we're going to plug 3 plus x into the other equation. So we're going to take 3x plus y equals -1. But remember, y is equal to 3 plus x. So instead of writing y, I will write 3 plus x. Now I can combine like terms. So 4x plus 3 equals -1. I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And I get 4x equals -4. Then, let's see, I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides to get the x by itself. And x equals -4 divided by 4 is -1. And ta-da! Step 2 has given us x equals 1. Now, what I'm going to do with x equals 1 is I'm going to do step number 3. I'm going to take x equals -1, and I'm going to plug it in to one of my original equations. So I can plug it into equation 1, or I can plug it into equation number 2. Whatever's going to be easiest. So, let's see. The x is negative in equation number 1. I don't want to deal with that, so let's use equation number 2. Let's use equation number 2. So we have 3x plus y equals -1. Let me draw a little 2 next to this so that we can see it's equation number 2. But instead of writing x, I'm going to write -1 because x is equal to -1. Okay, what is -1 times 3? That's -3 plus y equals -1. And let's see, if I want to get y by itself, I just need to add 3 to both sides. So I get y equals 2. Hey, there we go. I have x and I have y. Oh, so in the end, we get -1, comma, 2. X, comma, y. That's how our ordered pairs go. Awesome. Okay, let's check and make sure that we were correct. So, solve for y in equation number 1. Awesome. Solve for x. Boom. X equals -1. Plug it back in, and y equals 2. Solution is -1, 2. Hey, that is exactly what we got. Yay. Okay, so now I want to give you an opportunity to try on your own. Solve the system of linear equations by substitution. You have to do steps 1 and 2 and 3. And I would like you to pause the video and try this on your own. It's okay if you get stuck. It's okay if you don't completely finish the problem, but I want you to at least try it on your own so that you can see just how much you can do by yourself. Okay, now unpause the video and we can do it together. So, when I look at equation number 2, I see that both x and y have have coefficients. So if I wanted to solve for x, I would end up needing to divide by 3. And if I wanted to solve for y, I would end up needing to divide like by 2 or -2. And I don't want to have to deal with that. I might get fractions, and I don't like fractions. But if I look at equation number 1, I see that, hey, x, I have positive x, no coefficient right there by itself. So let's use equation number 1 for step 1. X minus 2y equals 7. I can just add 2y to both sides. And I get x equals 7 plus 2y. Or 2y plus 7, it's the same thing. Okay, awesome. That is my step 1 all complete. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take whatever we got for x and plug it in to the other equation. So we have, and this is equation number 2 that we're working with, 3x minus 2y equals 3. And I left some space because we're going to replace x with 7 plus 2y. Okay, since this is 3 times all of this, I need to distribute. Do my distribution rainbows. So I have 3 times 7 is 21, and 3 times 2y is 6y, minus 2y equals 3. Now let's combine like terms. 6y minus 2y is 4y. So we have 21 plus 4y equals 3. Let's see, I can subtract 21 on both sides to get the 4y by itself. And what is 3 minus 21? I get 4y is equal to negative 18. Okay, and then I need to divide by 4 on both sides. And I get that y is equal to negative 18 divided by 4 is negative 4.5. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to start step 3. I'm going to take what I got for y, and I'm going to plug it back in to one of the original equations. Personally, it looks like equation 1 is going to be easiest because x is already by itself. It doesn't have a 3 attached to it. So I'm going to plug it in to equation number 1. We have x minus 2y equals 7. And I'm going to replace the y with negative 4.5 because y is equal to negative 4.5. All right, and so we have x minus 2 times negative 4.5 is negative 9 equals 7. Whoa, what happens when I have minus a negative? They come together and become positive. So we have x plus 9 equals 7. Subtract 9 on both sides, and we get x equals negative 2. Ta-da! So our final answer is going to be negative 2 comma negative 4.5. X comma y. And there you go. Wonderful. Well, thank you for spending this video with me. Hopefully you know what time it is. It's time to assess your understanding of the learning target and the success criteria. So, where are you on this scale? Do you completely understand our learning target and our success criteria? Or I'm sorry, are you completely confused about our learning target and success criteria? Do you? I'm getting there. Or are you completely satisfied with your understanding of the learning target and the success criteria? Remember that our learning target was that you remember what substitution is, you know how it works, how to do it, and our success criteria was that you could solve any system of linear equations by substitution, no matter if you get decimals, no matter if you get fractions, no matter if one of the equations isn't solved for x or y in the beginning. So, how do you feel about those things? Are you good? Are you bad? Are you somewhere in between? And yeah, do the appropriate action based on how you're feeling. An appropriate action might be asking for help, trying your homework, or helping your friends, something like that. So, assess your understanding and take the appropriate action. These are some practice problems that you can do to practice the skills you have learned in this video. The first 4 problems are like example 1. They are already solved for x or y, so that you can jump right into step 2. And the last 4 problems are like example 2, where you need to solve for either x or y before you can begin step 2 of substitution. Okay, of course, we are going to end our video with a launch. Today's launch comes from Sarah Bon Brethnock, and she says, "Take a leap of faith and begin this wondrous new year by believing." Take a leap of faith. What do you think of when you hear someone say, take a leap of faith? Well, I kind of think of like in the movies when, you know, this person the ground is crumbling beneath them and they have to jump and reach for somebody's hand and hope that they catch it so that they don't fall to their doom. So when I think of a leap of faith, I think of, I don't know what's going to happen. Like if I leap and I don't grab that person's hand or I don't get what I want, I don't know what's going to happen. So when I think of a leap of faith, I think of, you know, a little risky, a little scary maybe, but I'm trusting, you know, faith means I'm believing or I'm trusting that it's going to work out. So take a leap of faith and begin this wondrous new year by believing. Okay, so believe that you can take that leap of faith and that you will grab that person's hand, that you will get what you want, that you won't, you know, fall to your doom. So what is that a metaphor of in your life? What is the leap of faith that you need to take in your life? What do you need to believe in your life? Is it yourself? You need to take a leap of faith that I am enough, and no matter what happens, no matter what I do, I am worthy, no matter what other people say, no matter what my teacher says or my peers at school say, what people on the internet say. Do you need to believe that you can stick to an exercise routine, that you can stay in the shape that you want to, that you're not going to, you know, try and fail? What is it that you're wanting to believe in? That you can, you know, that you can get a role that you want to audition for in some production that you're passionate about? I don't know. How does this relate to your own life? What do you need to believe in this year? And are you going to take that leap of faith or not? You're the one that has to decide if you will take that leap of faith, and if that leap of faith is worth it. Totally up to you. So, begin this new year by believing in whatever it is that you need to believe in. So, that is my launch for you today. Take it with you as you go throughout your day. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Bye.